Hey, what's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and in this video I'm going to be comparing the camera quality of the Samsung Galaxy S4 to the Nokia Lumia 925. I'll be looking at both the front facing cameras as well as the rear facing cameras, and at videos as well as images. Now do look out for the audio icon in the corner of the screen, and that will indicate to you which device the audio is coming from. Now we're currently indoors, we're using the front facing cameras on both of these devices, and we've got a decent amount of light. Now one thing to note right away is that the S4 has a 1080p front facing camera, whereas the Lumia 925 only has a 720p front facing camera. So you may notice a difference straight away. So anyway, do hit that thumbs up button and let's go outside and test the rear facing cameras as well. So we are outdoors right now. It's a pretty decent day outside, so we've got plenty of light. And this is the sort of quality that you can expect from both of the cameras here. Here are some flowers. We've just got a bit of a variation in colours. We've got some red ones here at the bottom, and here's some yellow ones here. So hopefully this gives you a bit of a better idea in terms of the differences here. So we are now indoors with the Samsung Galaxy S4, and we're filming in pretty low light. And just to test the focusing in low light, it seems to be pretty decent, the autofocus on the camera here, as you can see, although the picture quality on here does seem pretty dull. Now we are with the Lumia 925 indoors, the same lighting that we had with the Samsung Galaxy S4, and just testing out what sort of results that you get on here. And it seems on screen it looks much better. We'll find out later on, but on screen this is looking much better. The autofocus is doing pretty well as well, so we're getting a pretty decent autofocus. It does do a little bit of a search when finding the autofocus, but quality is looking really good. So that was the video. Now let's have a look at some images. So we'll start off with a selfie, hashtag selfie. What most people use their front-facing cameras for, Instagram selfies, right? But anyway, looking at the images, I don't even have to say anything. The images speak for themselves here. The S4 is doing a much better job. I'm really disappointed with the front-facing camera here on the Lumia 925. Completely washed out. The colors just look very, very bad. The S4, much better job here. You've got better skin tones and the colors are just much better, and you've got a much sharper image as well. Now moving on to an outdoor shot, so you can see these flowers here. Both of these seem to be doing a pretty good job. The Lumia is slightly warmer, but not a huge deal of difference here. Now the one thing that you do have to bear in mind is that the S4 has a 13 megapixel camera, whereas the Lumia 925 has an 8.7 megapixel camera. So you're going to have a larger image on the S4. So if you're going 100%, you can see we've got a larger image on the S4, but you've also got a lot more detail here on the S4, much sharper image, and I'm very impressed with the quality here. Just look at that flower, you can see some amazing detail, whereas the Lumia 925 is slightly softer at 100%, not as much sharp detail on the Lumia 925 compared to the S4. Now moving on to a wide outdoor shot, both of these are doing a pretty good job in terms of detail and image quality, I would say. The Lumia again a little bit warmer compared to the cooler tones of the S4. Now I think this will depend on personal preference, but quite similar in terms of detail and image quality. Now vegetarians, look away. Here is an image of my lunch, because again that's something that everybody posts on Instagram, don't they, with the hashtag food porn? No, just me. But just looking at the images, I think both of these are doing a brilliant job in terms of the detail. Also like the depth of field, focused in on the chicken. Now both of these were set on auto white balance, so if you look at the plate, you can see the S4 is doing a much better job in terms of the auto white balance, and you've got more of an accurate tone there on the white plate, whereas on the Lumia 925 you're getting a bit of a blue tint. Now looking at an image indoors in low light, I do think that the Lumia 925 is doing a better job of low light, as it was doing with the video, and it's a brighter image. And just look at that detail on the Lumia 925 image. It almost looks like the image was taken in daylight. It's very nice, and I'm very impressed with the low light performance of the Lumia 925. An image using the flash. Now I'm not a fan of using flash on any smartphone camera, but the S4 does seem to be doing a much better job. You've got much more accurate color tones. Now the Lumia 925, I was expecting it to do better because it's got a dual LED flash, but very yellowy tint there, and it's looking quite muggy, so I don't like that. To summarize, I would say in good light the S4 does take better images. You've got more detail and better color tones. And in terms of video in good light, I think they are pretty even, both of these cameras here. But in low light, there is no doubt that the Lumia is miles better, especially in video. As you saw, the Lumia does a great job in low light. So if you are looking for a low light shooter, then the Lumia 925 is a great option. Now in terms of the front facing cameras, the S4 definitely better, I would say. The Lumia just did a very bad job, and although the rear facing camera on the Lumia 925 is pretty good, the front facing camera was very disappointing in my opinion. I also preferred the audio of the S4. That's mainly because it's got stereo sound compared to mono sound on the Lumia 925. So the Lumia 925 only has a single channel of audio, whereas the S4 has dual channels of audio. That's what I think anyway. What do you think? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Which camera do you think is better and what are your opinions? Now if you do want to see more images from both of these devices, then do go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram. I am at SuperSafTV, and I'll be posting lots more images from the Lumia 925 while I'm using it for review, and there's lots of S4 images on there already. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, as always, please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And why not subscribe to the channel? I've got plenty more content coming up on here, including a full Nokia Lumia 925 review. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSafTV, and I'll see you next time. If you want to see more regular videos like this one, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, which will be below. If you're on a mobile device, it may be somewhere else. If you want to see my previous related video, then hit the link right here. If you want to stay in touch over Facebook, Twitter and Google+, then all of the addresses will be there somewhere, as well as direct links in the description below.